What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Elevate interview. Today, I am with a man who has influenced my faith tremendously. A guy I'm just excited to share his light on here today because, man, he's just full of it. It is my man, Beau, and he actually kind of leads the walk of faith inside Elevate. From day one, he told me his sole mission is to bring people to God. At the time, I wasn't very close to God, but now I can understand why he is on the path that he is on. Beau, what is up, brother?
Bro, what's going on, man? Dude, it's so awesome being able to talk to you, man. I know you and I have been hopping on calls for a while now. Um, it's awesome to be able to get this interview going, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped as well because I mean you're an OG, man. You've been in Elevate for over a year now, which is wild to think about. You're a guy who's been riding since day one. And the first thing I want to just dive into is Bible studies, bro. Because this is something that I don't remember where the idea came from. I don't know if it came from you directly, if I got it from somewhere else. Maybe fill me in on your perspective. But as soon as I got the call to start a Bible study inside Elevate, I had a bunch of guys say, I would love to lead it. And I said, nah, going to my man, Beau. It's the only guy I want leading the first Bible study. So I came to you, shot you the text, and said, would you be interested in doing a Bible study? So walk me through your perspective of all that, dude.
Oh man, well I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous. Like, how am I gonna lead a bunch of guys that are way stronger than me in a Bible study, man? Because there's a lot of jack dudes in Elevate. I don't know if you guys have seen. But I was honored, man. I was like, I've never led a Bible study before. I had been a part of some Bible studies here and there, but none of them really like stuck. And really, just ever since like the first one, and we've been doing them every Friday, man. I just feel like it's sticking. Like, there's always a new perspective being shared. We're always reading new things, learning from each other. We're able to ask each other questions about stuff that we don't know about, and we're even able to get vulnerable with each other. I think that's really, really important to do in these Bible studies. Maybe anything isn't super clear to you, things that you're reading, or just questions that you have about faith. I mean, we have guys getting into the Word that have been born into it, like they've been Christians all their life, and guys getting into it who are fairly new to their faith. So it's just really cool to see the different perspectives come through, man. And it's been an honor. It really has.
There's one thing that blows me away about your leadership and faith, dude, is you're not like ever willing to act like you know anything that you don't know. Like you are always just, well, guys, this is something that I don't have experiences around. Like, does anyone have anything on this? Has your pastor taught you anything? Have you learned anything? It's just like, most guys in the Christian space or in the faith space, whatever, like, especially when they get put into some sort of a leadership role, they feel like they have to know everything or act like they know everything. You see that all the time. Like they fear that judgment. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna supplement my knowledge or try to supplement my knowledge. You share really deep on the things you do know about and the other things you don't. You're just like, I don't know anything. Does anyone got anything on this? And I just love that humility that you bring into faith, bro. But obviously, I went to you to lead the Bible study for a reason, dude. So talk me through, like, where did faith start for you? How did it kind of develop? Like, what's your journey been with faith, dude?
Well, I was honestly blessed to be born into it. I mean, my parents, both of them grew up in the church, been going to church for a long time. Kind of bounced back between churches, but we ended up finding a really good church called Madison Park, and this was just really the place where I was able to just dive into and like really get to know the Lord. I was able to meet a lot of other people, getting to know the Lord as well. I did a couple mission trips. It was awesome. Um, but then when I was, kind of going into my high school years, just kind of going through, changes, was listening to music that I don't know if I'd probably ever listen to again. I'd probably be honestly ashamed to name some of those tunes that I was listening to. But kind of just stepped a little bit away from my faith. And I think that sophomore year came around. This is my testimony, by the way. This is kind of how I am where I am. I was doing great. Sophomore year was great. Had a lot of awesome friends. I wasn't super active in church, but I was still going every Sunday. Was really just like a Sunday Christian, I guess. And then out of the nowhere, it was like right around my birthday. I don't know. It was around February. I think it was at the beginning of February. My mom just had just a massive stroke out of nowhere. It was crazy. Just a huge stroke. She'd been doing like super awesome. She'd been eating right, but it just happened out of nowhere. Um, and then obviously, so that happened. She was fine. She woke up, to rush to the hospital, check her out. She had another one. She had another big stroke at this hospital. So they're like, all right, we got to get this girl into like some serious help. So they took her to this heart hospital in downtown Indy. I'm sure if you've driven on 465, you've probably seen it. I can't remember the name of it. But she was there, and they were working on her and just trying to help her out. She was like just losing consciousness, kind of coming in and out of it. And then out of nowhere, her heart just stopped beating, and the doctors, they didn't know what to do. And my dad was there, and all that he knew how to do was just to fall to his knees and pray. He's like, if these doctors can't do anything, these people that have gone to school for years and years and years and have seen this before, if they don't know what to do, I got to give it to God. I got to pray. I got to figure out what he can do. So he just dropped to his knees and started praying. Was like, God, I cannot do this on my own. Like, I need you to help me out with this. Like there's just no way. Like, please, God, please, please. It was like a cry for help. I don't know if he'd ever done that before, been in that situation, but that's just what he felt called to do. And I think a minute or so went by, and then out of nowhere, her heart just started beating again, and the doctors were able to kind of get her stable, neutralized, good to go. And she was there for a while, but I think a week later she was able to come home and rest. She lost a lot of memories, but I've just had people come over to our house ever since after that, and just kind of hear the story, like people that were close to my mom or friends, and it's really just a really incredible story of kind of what God was able to do for her. And I saw this, and I was just like man, like this is just out of this world. Like I don't even think I really processed it until like maybe 2 years after. Um, but it's actually funny that really wasn't even the time when I really gave myself to God. Like he proved himself to my mom by saving her life, and that still wasn't enough for me, being the high schooler that I was, to not even give myself to God. So then college came around,
Before you go on,
and
brother,
I kind of
I
oh
want to
go ahead.
share something. This is something that is just powerful for me. I'll never forget this. We were on, so for those that don't know, we started Elevate January 1st, 2022. And I, for some reason, in February of 2022, went on like this 2 week stint where I was journaling, right? I got my journal right here. And on February 23rd, 2022, is when you shared this testimony on a group call. And I wrote it down in my journal because it just gave me chills, dude. And I read this back probably, I don't know, a month or two ago. I was just flipping through here looking because I've been filling this thing up like crazy. But I was just flipping through here looking, and I read this back, and here are the exact words I wrote after that call. I just said I didn't know how to journal at the time. Just put Beau shared his story of his mom dying and then his dad dropping to his knees and praying. Unreal. Period. And then I said, God truly deserves it all. So thankful for this group he has brought together. And man, like when
Amen.
I read this back, bro, I just could vision that call that we were on. And I legitimately got chills when you told that story on that group call. And I just think that's such a testament to the vulnerability of Elevate. And I don't want to skip over that because this was we're not even a month into the group. Like now we're over a year in. And of course, the vulnerability has grown and expanded, and the depths are like they've never been before. But this was not even a month into Elevate being founded, and you're on sharing, one of your deepest moments in life, that testimony to God. So just thought that was a powerful share, and I have my notebook right here, brother. So I'm so glad you brought that story up. But take us back to college. College comes around.
Yeah, college comes around, man. Dude, it's crazy that you wrote that down. I remember that. I remember that plain as day. I remember where I was sitting. I remember kind of going through that story and then looking up at Faith, and she just kind of started tearing up. Like she didn't want to look at me because she knew that I would start crying. So, I didn't really want to cry in front of a bunch of guys that I had just met for the first time. Just had a little pride there. But yeah, college came around. Again, I did what a lot of college kids do, right? Was drinking a lot, smoking a lot. Wasn't really much of like a partier per se, like hundreds of people. Was more like a kickback kind of guy. Just get a couple people together, drink a little, smoke a little, have just a good time, and that was great. But didn't fulfill me. Didn't fulfill me. And I graduated from college just fine, and just kind of did the college route. Worked a 9 to 5, just driving all the way to Indianapolis, waking up super early, getting home super late, and I just wasn't fulfilled. Like I was just a different person. Like one of my best friends at the time told me like, Beau, you are not like the same person that I knew before you started this job. Like what's going on? And I eventually left there just at the throne of God, just like what do you want me to do? Like what is a good way for me to live my life, to provide for my family? Really just like square one. Like I tried to do this on my own. I got the degree, I got the job, I did it all, but it did not fulfill me. There was a huge piece of my life that was just not fulfilling me at all. Um, and it took some time, but I ended up finding something that worked out for me, something that taught me a lot. and just brought me true fulfillment. And now I have a career where I'm, working from home, which is awesome. I have freedom to be able to pet my dogs, go outside, get up and drink water whenever I want. I can get on my phone whenever I want. Just those like little freedoms I truly give to God every single day when I wake
Mm.
up, being able to walk, 10 feet over here to come to my office, being able to, you know, go to bed with my wife every night at the same time, wake up with her at the same time every morning. Um, and really just after I gave my life to God, it really wasn't like it was just my career. I mean, it was my relationships, right? Like I met all you guys. I'm really, really good friends with all you guys. Started having these conversations with God about some of my friends that I've known for a long time. I've even started really like pursuing like the gym and myself and my health, and that inevitably gave me the confidence to play drums at my church right down the road. And it's just been a really, really cool ride, really, over these past 2 years. Just getting to know the Lord and allowing the Lord to learn about me a little bit more. Um, it's just been a wild ride, man. I can't wait to see where the future takes me.
I can't wait for it either, brother. But one thing I want to kind of highlight throughout this is that you are married at such a young age, and you've been with your wife Faith for since high school, since you guys were young kids. So talk to me about just your walk of faith, and then your walk with faith, your wife. Like,
I knew you were gonna make that joke.
well,
I
I
knew
didn't know I was gonna make it, but it just hit me. So,
it.
like, what has that been like growing? Because it's very rare. It's so rare to see two people committed to each other so young, and it's just so awesome to see your guys' love for each other. It just the little bit that I've seen, it just radiates so bright, and I love to see it. So just like, what's that been like, brother?
Man, it's been awesome. I mean, it really has. I mean, we're obviously married now. We love each other deeply, and we choose to choose each other every single day. And really, the foundation of that has been with God. I mean, we've just loved each other so much as I've been together, and we've truly proved that to each other by working through some of the problems that we have. I mean, it wasn't like we got together and we never had a single argument, right? I mean, we've had arguments. There's been times where we've almost split. There was actually one time where we did split for a little bit, but we ended up coming back together. Um, it was really just about getting vulnerable with each other. Like if any one of us had a problem, like we would settle it right then and
Mm.
there. We didn't leave anything kind of on the table to be a problem later on down the line. If there was an argument, like we got to the bottom of it. Like we wanted to figure this out because we knew that if we could get through this, it was just like growing pains, right? Like no growth is ever going to be linear. So in order for us to get to where we want to get to, we really just had to both put in the effort to do it. Um, and it's just been awesome, man. It's one of the biggest blessings of my life was meeting her. I can't even imagine what dating is like nowadays, just with a lot of things going on in the world. It seems so hard, but I'm just so grateful. I'm so blessed, and I'm praying for my guys every day to feel the same kind of love that I feel.
Amen to that, dude. Um, Next thing I want to dive into, bro, is just your gratitude, man. Just this gratitude that you have, and I say it's like the lens of God is working. I got this tattoo on my arm now, but like
Hmm.
the lens of God is working. You have this gratitude about life, like you were just saying earlier. You can pet your dog if you want. You can be there for your wife. I know something you value the little things for her, making her coffee and the way she wants it that day, like just those little things. Like how have you been able to find gratitude in those little things?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I've just been in very dark places before, in college, just getting absolutely stoned out of my mind, just playing video games all day. Like I've been in those holes before. I know how not to live life, and I also know how to live life. The way to live life is to be grateful for everything that you
Hmm.
have. Um, we were having a Bible study one day, and we were kind of talking about like material possessions versus like storing up treasures in heaven. I don't exactly know what book this was, or kind of when we were talking about it, or honestly who was even in the Bible study. But we were talking about this, and I said something like, "God's got to have something cooler than a Mercedes in heaven." Mercedes is like my favorite car. Like I love that car. It's one of my favorite Formula One teams. They're just awesome. There's the brand, the business. It's all just there. They just got it figured out. There's some brands that got it figured out. Mercedes, hands down, has it figured out, and those cars are freaking awesome. But nothing can compare to what God's got in store for us later on down the line, man. Like if I could get married at 23 years old, like come on, me? There's no way. There's no way. This redhead in Pendleton, no, come on, man. Come on. So I don't know. I just I'm just grateful for the little things, man. There's so much to be grateful for. Even with this Elevate 30 challenge, like you had to share gratitude through things you were grateful for in those, days. And at the start, it was like, it was kind of difficult, but as you kind of got through it, it's like, there's just so much in this world that you can be grateful for.
Mm.
Seriously. I mean, we started that challenge and it was like 40 degrees outside, like cloudy. We ended the challenge and now it's been sunny every day in like the 60s, 70s, man. Like there's just so much in this world to be grateful for, man.
Amen to that, brother.
There really is.
I shared recently on Twitter, like gratitude for me in the beginning felt like this like false sense of happiness. Like I was trying to fake it, to make it in a way. I said, but what I did uniquely was I tried to just challenge myself to come up with something new every single day. And in pursuit of finding a new thing to be grateful for, you truly start to be grateful. And so sounds like you had a similar, epiphany or realization during that challenge on those three items of gratitude every day. So for somebody listening to this, like gratitude is absolutely a superpower. When you get to meet Beau, when you join Elevate, you're going to see that he's just beaming with light, beaming with love. He's just a constant energy inside our community. And I think a lot of it comes down to the things he's grateful for. And he's grateful for everything. You just heard it in the beginning. Didn't ask him about it. It was just, I'm grateful to be able to pick up my phone, pet my dog, make dinner for my wife, go to bed with her, because of the dark places he's been. So for somebody listening to this, like start this gratitude practice. You can join, drop gratitude in the channel if you want, or just do it on your own. Like all we're here to do is just help people get better in any way, shape, or form, whether that's joining or doing these things on your own, however that is. Like we don't care. We just want to see you live your best life. That's it. So I love that, brother, and it's something that a lot of people can take with them. But I want to talk about the first ever Elevate event that we had at IVB in Indy. Obviously, you live pretty close to Indy, but this was back in March 2022. And you drove to Indy, picked up a deadlift PR, and like I said, this is the first ever event. I didn't even know that it was going to be an event. It was just like, hey, just guys want to get together and hang out for the day. So talk me through that experience, bro. The first one.
Oh man, I was pretty nervous. I was pretty nervous going over there. I was like, how's this gonna go? Like meeting up with a bunch of strangers that I met on the internet. Like you always never hear any of these good stories of things like this happening, man. But we got there, and I mean, we just clicked. It just worked. There were a lot of people there that I met. A lot of those guys, I was able to get their numbers that day. I was hugging them by the end of it. Like it was just truly an awesome experience, and it was like a big deadlifting day. Like a lot of guys were going there wanting to get these big deadlift PRs. I had never deadlifted before. I couldn't even tell, like, by looking at a bar how much weight was on it. Like, I forget who was standing next to me. I was like, how much is he doing right now? 355. I was like, how did you figure? Cool, great. He figured that out. Awesome. So 355, no problem. I couldn't even fathom how the bar is able to hold on or however much weight on each side. And it just kept going up. Like, you had a big PR. Mitch had a big PR. There was another guy there who had, like, a massive, like, 700-pound PR. Like, I couldn't even fathom that this was even possible. Like, I had no idea guys could even pick up 700 pounds. Like, is that, like, true? And, man, that just lit a fire in me to get after it. It's like, now's the time. Like, if I'm looking for a sign or something to, like, go to the gym, work hard to eventually be able to do this, like, now I got to go. And that's kind of what started it for me. I had been going to the gym pretty consistently, but I wasn't saying I was really, like, putting on any muscle. I was really just trying to live a healthier lifestyle. And I think that inevitably led me to go to Elevate to be able to do these challenges and to see these guys do this and me deadlifting for the first time. I haven't been deadlifting like I should have, honestly. It's not like my favorite exercise to do in the gym, but I like it. It's very humbling. And it was just a really cool experience, man. It was really cool.
I don't really deadlift anymore at all. I rarely deadlift.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You don't?
Very rarely, dude. It's just something that's extremely taxing. And with with me doing jujitsu and other things, like I just don't need that tax on me right now. Just different seasons of life. But I do want to talk about just your health journey, your fitness journey, dude. Because wow, like you told me so much of 2022. You just spent that whole year proving to yourself you could just be consistent. And then, 2023 was the year that you ramped it up. And, dude, your transformation, that year transformation, was before and after pictures. Just unreal, dude. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like you hit puberty, bro. Like, I'll be honest. Like, it looks like you became a freaking man, dude. I was like, that's Beau right there. Like, let's go. That guy's married. He's a leader, husband, like, wow. So, dude, like, looking at those pictures, just what's that emotion like? Seeing that before and after.
It's cool, man. I get a lot of gas, but I'm also very humble. Like I always know that I could get stronger, right? Like I always know I got more in the tank, man. And even though that was just my first year, it was very awesome, and I was able to show people and kind of gave them some inspiration. Gave my buddy Andrew some inspiration over in Chicago to go to the gym, start losing some weight. But I knew I had it in me. There were so many times where I would go to the gym before that, and I would always last for 6 weeks, and then I wouldn't go. 6 weeks was always like the time that I would go, and then I would stop for months on end, and then I would try again and then fail, and try again and then fail, and then finally when I got engaged, I was like, I can't walk down the aisle if I look like this, if I look like I haven't hit puberty yet, and I knew the only way to get there, right, was to just go to the gym, just try my best, just keep going, even if you don't want to work out, go there, walk on the treadmill, just prove to yourself that you win, do whatever you got to do to go, and that led me to obviously hiring you for that little while, really putting on some muscle, focusing in on my diet. Um, and yeah, I mean, I know I got a long road to go, but it ain't about the destination, man. It's about the journey.
Amen, brother. And I think that something that's really stemmed from this health journey has been how you've led your wife. At least that's been something I've kind of seen from the outside. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but take me through that perspective. How has that helped you to lead her?
Well, for a long time when I was in college, she was working out like crazy, and I
Mm.
wasn't. Like she was the one putting in the work. She had a little Instagram blog where she was blogging some workouts, doing stuff like that, and loved it. Um, and then eventually just kind of stopped, just kind of fell out of it. She really hurt her back doing CrossFit. Don't exactly know what happened. She slipped a disc. I think she was doing box jumps, but she did something weird before that that like activated that to where she slipped the disc. She got on the steroid, and then obviously the steroid kicked in. She ate a lot of food. That's just kind of something that happens when you take steroids. You eat a lot of food, and she gained a lot of weight, and then she lost it all just like that. So it's been super, inspiring to me to see the work that she's done. And then finally, I just decided to do it. I was like, I gotta get into this. And she actually woke up this morning, went on a 2 mile run. Like she's really just getting through it. I've kind of been a bum lately, trying to get over these crazy allergies and just this headache that I've had the past couple weeks. But I'm gonna get back into it. We've been going on a lot of walks lately, and honestly, just living this healthier lifestyle. Even with these dogs, like these dogs, they need exercise. They don't want to be cooped up in here all day, and you never feel worse after a walk. You never feel worse after going to the gym. So just reminding ourselves of that and just working through it together has really been pretty cool.
I love it, dude. Last thing, well, couple things, but on the back side of this interview here, uh, one thing I like to ask is just what is your favorite part of Elevate, like the community as a whole? What's your favorite part?
Oh, there's a lot of things, man. There's a lot of things. It's got to be the people. Honestly, I don't know if anyone else has said that in these interviews, but it's got to be the people, man. I mean, these guys are just they're kicking ass every single day. They're going into the gym. They're doing things that I still can't comprehend, and if anything, it just motivates me to get stronger. I mean, really, truly, if you are the strongest guy in your gym, then you got to find a new gym. And I feel like in this Elevate gym, you're never going to be the strongest. There's just no way. I mean, there's always guys that are just going to be stronger than you. Like maybe you have a crazy bench. Okay, well, this guy over here has a crazy deadlift. Maybe you have an awesome squat. Okay, this guy's got a crazy bench. Like we're always just like fighting and going after it, with love, just trying to become the best that we can be. Even like you starting jujitsu, leading guys. I'm not sure if there's other guys in Elevate that are like really doing jujitsu, but I can guarantee now that you've kind of stepped into this, there's going to be other guys wanting to do it. And it's just there's always just somebody in there just pushing harder, and I think it just motivates us to go as hard as we can. So it's got to be the people. It's got to be the people.
That's the best answer I've heard thus far. The people. So right into the people. This is a question I've never asked before, but this is gonna be a fun one. If you could get lunch with three people from Elevate, who would it be?
I don't want to be biased, man. I don't want to be biased. Three
Three
people.
people. No hard feelings. Somebody listening to this. This is no hard feeling.
Three people. Jr. I mean, in the Bible study this morning, he goes, "Man, I'm just here to hear your voice." It's like this guy's
Um,
hilarious. Jr. Matt Call. I love Matt. He's awesome. Who else? Who's at that table? Me, Jr. Matt Call. Ooh. I don't know, man. This is hard. This is hard. Does Joey count? Can I pick
For
Joey?
sure.
All right, Joey. I'll pick
Love
Joey.
it.
Joey's awesome.
Love it.
Joey, man, I met Joey. He acted like he knew me forever. Like the day that I met him. Like it was so cool. It was so cool. I
It's
love
that
that dude.
Midwest connection.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Midwest people, they've never met a stranger. Never.
Dude, my dad's the same way. That's so true, man.
I
That's
I
so
mean, that's
true.
exactly the family I kind of stem from, just having never met a stranger. And I mean, look at this now. We got a community of over 100 people. I've definitely never met a stranger.
It's crazy. There's over 100 people, man. I remember you making that push to get 100 people. Was it by the end of last year?
Yeah, 2022.
Oh, dude, that was cool, man. That was cool. I don't exactly know how many like days were left or how many people that we had, but there was at one point where I was like, "There's just no way. Like, I don't think he's gonna do it." And then as soon as I thought that, got 100 people. I was like, "All right, this is
Yeah.
awesome. This is so
I
cool."
think like
So,
20, I want to say like 22 joined on New Year's Eve alone.
are you
I'm
serious?
pretty sure it was something like that.
That's
It was
crazy.
definitely
That's
18
crazy.
to 22. I think somewhere in there. But yeah, there was a point in time where I was like, "There's no way." And then Austin Esposeth, he's like, "Dude, you got this." Like he's like, "You got this. Like don't give up on it." And I was like, "You know what?" So like my whole New Year's Eve, I think I spent 6 hours, a little over 6 hours on Twitter. Like I looked at my phone, my settings. I spent over 6 hours on Twitter on New Year's Eve. So definitely put in the hours to get the people, but it
Those are the trenches.
yeah, just in the trenches
On
grinding.
bird app for 6 hours. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, bro. But to close this thing out, man, like somebody listening to this, and they're thinking about joining Elevate, like what would your words to them be?
Man. I mean, there's just so many people to meet. There's so many awesome people to meet. You're gonna hear different perspectives. You're gonna have the opportunity to be vulnerable if you want, but you also don't have to say anything. There's never like a force to say anything if you're ever in these meetings. Like you could just introduce yourself, kind of hang back and just listen. Man, there's just so much to learn from these guys. And really, I mean, if you're wanting to, become a man of God, get into the gym, eat right, become a leader, in your community, online, or you want to become a fitness trainer, you want to start your own business, there isn't a better community to do it. There really isn't.
You heard it here first from the man, the myth, our favorite redhead inside the Elevate community. He might be the only redhead now. Austin.
Austin's a
Yeah.
ginger. He is. He's just well, he won't say it, but we won't get into that. We
I'm
won't
gonna
get into
clip this and send it to him, so we will get into that.
that.
But if you listen to this,
Oh, man.
thank you guys for listening and just join the community. Like, there's so many interviews of great guys sharing their stories and Beau giving his testimony. Like, come inside, meet Beau, just get exposed to this energy that he's got and this unmatched, light that he has for life. So, peace and love, y'all.